In a quiet village nestled between the mountains and a river, there lived a humble Zen master. People from all walks of life journeyed to the village to seek wisdom from the master. One day, a young traveler with a fiery temper arrived, seeking solace from his overwhelming emotions. "Master," the young man began, "I am at the mercy of my anger and sadness. They control me, and I don't know how to free myself." The master invited the young traveler to join him for tea. As they sipped in silence, the master observed, "See this tea kettle? It gets heated by the fire. It whistles and releases steam, yet it remains intact." The traveler looked puzzled at this seemingly simple comparison. "I am not a kettle," he retorted. The master smiled and replied, "True, you are not a kettle. You are much more complex and have the ability to understand and control your emotions." Intrigued but still confused, the young man asked, "But how?" "By observing them," replied the master. The next morning, they both went to the riverbank. The master handed a clear glass jar to the young man and instructed him to fill it with water from the river. "Observe this water," said the master. "It is murky now because it was disturbed when you scooped it up. But watch." As minutes slipped into hours, the young man watched as the mud settled at the bottom and the water in the jar became clear. "Your mind is like this jar of water," said the master. "When it's agitated by emotions like anger or sorrow, everything seems murky. But give it time and remain still. Allow your emotions to settle just as the dirt in this jar did." With regular practice of observing his emotions without reacting, the young traveler learned to let his feelings rise and fall without letting them disturb his peace. His anger and sadness no longer held control over him. He understood that emotions were just like the river, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, but always moving. As he left the village, the young man thanked the master for this valuable lesson. The master waved him off, saying, "Remember, emotions come and go. They do not define you. What matters is how well you master your response to them." As you read this story, do you see your reflection in the young traveler? Are your emotions like a turbulent river, or have you learned to observe them like the settled water in a glass jar? This is your journey. This is your challenge. Embrace it with open arms and a willing heart.